Well, hello, Crashing In Podcast, and today I am joined by Lucia Tacchetti. I discovered her supporting the band Holy Fuck, and I thought she was brilliant. I only filmed little snippets of her set, unfortunately, and I wish I filmed more of it, but she was absolutely brilliant, and I tagged her in one of my posts and she responded to it, so I just thought, I'll ask her to do a podcast, and she was well up for it. And so this is how the podcast happened, just through me discovering a support act, and here we are. And it's only a short one today, and also this musician's from Madrid, another podcast over the sea, I guess, I don't know. And it's great talking to musicians from all different parts of the world. This is my first musician from Madrid. So, yeah, it's cool. And thank you, Lucia Tacchetti, for coming on for the podcast. I really appreciate it. Today's a short one. We'll get talking about her latest single, what's upcoming, and a tour she just done with Holy Fuck. So, stay tuned, and I hope you all enjoy. That was footage from the Holy Fuck support at the Hare and Hounds in Birmingham. And now I'm with Lucia Tacchetti. And first of all, how's things and what you've been up to?
Things are going really good for me at the moment. I finished the Holy Fuck tour, and then I've been into Argentina. I'm from there, so I've been recording a few things, and now I'm in the process of a new album, and I'm finishing the mixes and the masters, so I'm really happy about it. And in a few weeks I'm going to release the first single, so I'm so excited about it.
Recently you just been on tour with Holy Fuck, so how was that, and have you got any favourite places that you played?
Tour with Holy Fuck has been amazing, one of the best experiences ever. I enjoy every minute of it, and I didn't want it to end, so I'm so excited about it. And I don't know if I had a favorite gig, because everyone has a special thing, and I enjoy everyone and every gig, and it's difficult for me to choose one. Because yes, every one of it has been really special. So no, I cannot choose a favorite gig.
Was that the first time you ever toured in the UK?
I've never been into the UK. It was my first time, and my first time in a big gig like this one. I gigged before, but they were smaller gigs, and I never did this crazy experience of playing almost every day. So I'm so happy about it, and I love that. And well, my favorite place in the UK, it's like kind of obvious maybe, but I absolutely love London. It was my favorite city. I think it's one of my favorite cities in the whole world. But I really like Newcastle too, and Leeds. I think and Manchester too. But I really love those places. They have like some kind of magical thing, and well, it's hard to to choose because I'm thinking about all the places and I think I love them all. But well, yes, London. I think it's my first choice.
So let's talk about your latest single, Lost Call, a song you was featuring on with the band Holy Fuck. So what was that like? Do you want to talk more into depth about that single?
My recent single, yes, it was Lost School, and the experience was amazing. We unfortunately we have to do all by separate, and we couldn't meet at that moment. But it was really cool. We start sending things back and forward, and the result was amazing. So I'm really happy with that song. I love it, and it's one of my favorite songs. And the cool thing about it was that we got the chance to play at every night, like when we were at the gig, we play the song together. So I think that make the song most more special. So every time I listen to it now, I'm thinking about all the places we played.
So let's take it to the beginning. Where did you find your love for music?
I think I found love in music like when I was a little kid. My grandmother has a piano at their house, so I used to go there all the time and play the piano and be there. So I think music has been in my life like forever. And then when I was getting older, I started like studying piano a little bit and I started singing, but I was really shy at the moment, so I didn't uh, play in front of anyone. And then when I was a little bit older, I started like playing for my friends and for everyone. And at that point, I realized that I really like doing this. And then I started producing and making my own music, and well, that was like mind blowing for me because I discovered a whole new world in where I want to be, like forever. And I really enjoy that, and I start like discovering myself into music. So I think it's a really long journey, but it's amazing. I don't regret any minute of it.
So what motivated you to write your own music?
I think that what motivates me, it's like everything. I really talk about regular life and my routine, like my everyday things and things that happen to me, about love, about life, about friendship, about relationships. So I think that that's what motivates me the most, and what I write about and what I talk about.
So, do you have anything coming out soon? And what is your favourite song you released so far? And can you get your music on streaming platforms or hard copies or anything?
Something coming out, yes, I have my new album. It's coming out this next few months. And then my favorite release so far, it's a Holy Fuck song. I love that song. And if I yes, you can have my music into vinyl. I don't have CD, but I have a vinyl, so you can purchase LT, that is my last album. And yes, I'm really happy. It's my first vinyl, so I'm so excited about it. And I think the next album is going to have a vinyl as well, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So, let's talk gigs. Can you recall your first gig and what was it like?
My first gig was into my country in Argentina. I've been playing a lot into different states, and it's been a really long journey because Argentina is so big, so it's lots of hours of getting into the car and playing. But I remember with a lot of love. At that moment, I used to play with a band, so we were having a lot of fun, like into the hotels and in the car. It was amazing. But it was like 5 or 6 years ago. And then another gig, another tour that I remember was when we went to South by Southwest. It's a festival into Texas in the US, and it was one of my first international. Well, it was my first international gig, so I remember that with a lot of love, and I remember my mind was like crazy those days because I was having so much information and making some new friends, so it was amazing. And I remember that with a lot of energy, and yes, it was one of the best gigs that we ever made.
So, on to the last question. Can you say anything inspiring to the listeners?
I think that maybe what I can say to inspire people to do this, or to get into music, or to get into something artistic that it's kind of a hard career, I would say that you have to really work every day, and not rely on your ins- not rely on you feeling inspired that day, because sometimes you are not feeling inspired at all, or you are not being creative. But if you sit down and you give hours to the project, or you start making a song or a paint or whatever you are into, like creativity or inspiration or whatever you want to call it, it's going to come to you because you are working on it. It's not something that happens like some act of magic. It happens because you are working on it. Sometimes there are a few days that you are really feeling inspired, and you are feeling creative, but it doesn't happen every day. So you have to really work hard and sit every day and try to work on your project as much as you can, and that is going to give you a full different mind, and it's going to give you more tools to create more. And I think that's like my best advice: to work hard. Really work hard.
That was Lucia Tacchetti. Thank you so much for joining me for a podcast. And I'm so sorry, people, that I haven't got that much footage of Lucia. Like, I'm really gutted that I haven't got much footage, and I wish I'd took more footage at the time, but I didn't know I was actually going to interview her. So, like, yeah, these things happen, but I hope you enjoyed the podcast anyway. It was only a short one, and yeah, it was only a quick interview giving you details about this musician. And I really wanted to do this podcast because I thought she was great, and I really wanted to get her music out there in the UK side of things, and yeah, hope do my part to help, if you know what I mean. So, like, I hope you all enjoyed the podcast, and thank you to Lucia for joining me once again, and stay tuned for the next podcast, and that will be with a psychedelia band from London called Baby Vanga. So I'm really looking forward to that podcast, and it feels like ages ago since I've done that podcast, so it's about time too that it's going to be released. So stay tuned, please like and subscribe and share this podcast if you can. Thank you and take care.